Real Life Street Stars. We in here with Alfred Hamilton, Arlan Hamilton,
The Hamiltons.
the Hamilton. How y'all doing today?
Doing well, yes.
This is an epic moment right here.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We got two powerhouses on the couch, family ties.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tell them where y'all from.
There's a whole lot of money in it.
We'll start with Arlan.
Oh, let's start with Rook. I want to start with Rook. What's your story, Rook?
I'm from North Dallas.
Now
Texas.
Dallas.
It again, North Dallas, Texas.
Okay.
And who are you?
And who are you?
Boss, player.
Okay. All right. So
Go ahead.
this is the first time I'm seeing this studio and being in this environment. And if you don't know, this is my little brother somehow. He's still 16 to me, and somehow he has done all of this. And so this is just amazing for me to see. And he's always been humble and always been low key about everything. And you walk in here and it's like, I remember when you were 15, 16 years old, teaching yourself how to record, edit, and master on a computer. I don't even know, you took it apart and put it back together again to do so. Mm-hmm. And you built that over the last 20 years into a production studio, a recording studio. I don't know how many albums as an artist, how many albums you've produced, how many artists you've produced. It is just, I'm blown away. I mean, I don't even know why I'm here. Like,
I'm blown away as well with that whole little situation. It just
Yeah.
went down.
Look, go ahead.
No, real quick. So Arlan, I gotta ask because this is a family affair. You picked up the camera first.
that's true.
I remember sitting in CPC, Central Park Crossing,
Okay.
where you took a picture of all of the Deca Boys. We were
Yeah.
all lined up.
I remember
And
that too.
you did. I think you did his album cover. Or you were
Yeah.
really just going
Yeah.
hard for him for you picking up a camera.
Yeah.
I'm curious, what was y'all passions back then? What was your passion? What was your passion like at that time?
Oh.
This is like y'all about to get in y'all professional world.
I mean, back then it was, I love photography, and it was also business. Like, I just knew I didn't want to be poor anymore. So whatever it was going to be wrapped in business. So it's photography. So I started a photography business, but I do remember that. I don't think I charged you. I think I may have an invoice for you. But I did your album cover for, what was the album? You remember that one?
Chess game.
Chess Game.
I was like,
Yes.
Man.
Yes. And then,
Soulja Boy looked like.
and then what was your passion back then?
man, I just wanted to rap, and I wanted all my partners to be on.
Yeah.
That's
That's
all.
so true, because
That's all
I mean, I used to yell at him. I used to be like, I yell because, but I used to tell him, like, you gotta take more credit. You gotta like stand in the front. And he was an artist for so long, and you could just see he loved being an artist, but then really what I feel, and you can correct me, but it seemed like your real passion was like putting everybody like in the spotlight, right? And kind of managing things behind the scenes. And so, yeah, literally, right? Like, yeah. So I'll be speaking for him for the rest of the interview.
Hold on, I got to tell this one quick story because since we're getting really into it, I remember, and we don't call him Alfred, we call him Rook. So if anybody else calls him Alfred, we're gonna have a real big problem.
Rook.
We call him Rook.
I can call him
You got to
Alfred.
know him. So I remember the first time, well, not even the first time I met Rook, but one time I was coming out of McDonald's and I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh real big. And we was playing Yu-Gi-Oh at McDonald's and we was walking out. He walked up to me and said, "Hey man, I heard you rap, you go hard. I want you to come to the house and record." Now, mind you, prior to that time, I knew Rook, and really I didn't like him because he had a car already. He had all the Air Max. Rook in school, he was very popular and I was
Yes,
not.
he was
and
too
I was
popular.
like, "Ugh." But he invited me to his home to do music. And ever since, all he's ever done for me is guide me and led me with open arms and showed me everything that I needed. Everything he's always had, something he's always shared with me, music, money, whatever. And it's just awesome to see what he's transformed into.
Hey, did you ever know
And
that
I'm
you're
done
my
with the
hero?
mushy stuff.
Yeah. So moving forward,
That was beautiful.
that was
Thank
amazing.
You.
That was gorgeous.
Thank you.
I just had to share. Because your brother is amazing. he's been a mentor in my life. He's like
Yes.
he's like a, you know, I really consider him a big brother.
Yes.
He's always guided me in the right direction.
He has wisdom.
He has a lot of wisdom.
I
He's
appreciate
always
that.
imputed a lot of wisdom into me. And so I always want to give him his flowers when I had the chance. And since you're here to hear it,
Here's the
I definitely
thing.
want you to know.
When I'm so used to y'all just scoring on each other, so I have not heard this.
And we still do that.
So you shot Arlan his first album cover, and you were kind of there. How would you say that's come full circle now to where you are in life, and how he's contributing to where you are now?
Well, so much has happened in the last few years. I have a storied past, and have reached new heights. I would say I have reached new levels of success. Still on my way, though. Still on my way up. But I have become a venture capitalist, and I have invested in nearly 200 companies led by underrepresented founders. I've raised and generated tens of millions of dollars in the past few years alone, and been on magazine covers and had a lot of press and all that. And Rook and Angel and the team, we're still out there all together. So now Rook films a lot of my content. He films all my social, and now some of his footage is in like major television shows. And they get to choose different things they can pull in. They always choose his footage.
I'm curious, real quick, who started the business first? Rook has had Reallyfe Records,
Yes.
Reallyfe Productions, Reallyfe Street Stars,
Yes.
Backstage Capital, who started business
Well, he
first?
started, he's been doing Reallyfe for what, 20 years?
So he started business before you, or did you
No,
have
no,
a business?
I had a business in the third grade, honey.
Oh, okay. Oh, talk to him. Talk to him. Okay.
But he started the company and the brand that he would continue this long. I started Backstage about a decade ago. So he definitely is beating me there.
What did you do in third grade?
My first business was, I was the candy lady. So here's what I did. I went to Sam's for the first time with our mother, and it was a whole new world to me in the third grade, because I had gone to 7-Eleven. I knew how much candy cost per item. And then I went to Sam's, and I said, now what? I can get how much for how much? So I did the math real quick. I asked Mom for I think it was like a $10 big thing of candy. She said yes. I then put some in my pocket every day, took it to school, and I sold it. And I would make like $10 a week. And back then, that was everything to me, 9, 10 years old. And then I started, what did I do? I painted people's addresses on the sidewalk.
I started doing that too.
You started doing it?
Yeah.
I started painting people's addresses, because I was like, okay, it's hard for pizza delivery drivers to see those numbers at night for houses. Let me go. And so I got paint by numbers kind of thing. I got paint. I went door to door to door in the hot sun in Texas, and I asked them, can I paint, it's whatever, $2 per number or whatever it was, can I paint it? And it would take me like 30 minutes to do each house. And I would say, and this was true, I would say, I'm trying to raise money for a computer, for school, can I do this? And I would do that for a long time. I also distributed, what is it, Auto Trader? Auto Trader, those magazines that tell you how much a car costs?
Yeah.
I distributed Auto Traders around Dallas for a long time. So it was like a Wednesday, you'd pick them all up. I would drive to 17 or 18 locations, put the Auto Trader in with the 7-Eleven or the convenience store, pick up the old ones, and take inventory, and then do all that. So I was working since I was 15. And
shout out to my mom when you said my mom was always been to connect with stuff.
Yeah.
Like me and Jeff, my mom got this. We had a slushy business.
oh my God.
Yep. And then my mom
I
bought
remember
all
that.
the juice and
She
stuff.
did.
And then me and Jeff got to working. we had a line all across. It was
And
so,
it wasn't spiked or anything, was it?
No. I'm talking about it was just so hot out there. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the line's stupid long. That was
Yes.
me and Jeff.
She was like our first investor.
Yeah, first investor.
That's right.
Straight up.
Oh, we
So-
shouldn't say that. She does come back for that money. She does not.
Oh yeah, no, she came back.
She
was
will
on
come.
me.
She'll come back for that.
Why do y'all think y'all have so much hustle? Cause y'all were spoiled. Well, Rook was.
Spoiled?
He was.
Did
He
you say
definitely-
spoiled?
Rook was. I know he
Turn the
was.
camera on.
No.
Spoiled. I would say that I would agree that Rook, Alfred, has had a lot of things, been able to see a lot of things and go a lot of places, but spoiled, no, I don't. I was in the house.
Yeah.
I was in the house. I had to
You
disagree.
can see like.
I saw him at school, so we have a different.
Yeah, you gotta understand. He made it happen because he understood branding back then. That's the thing you gotta understand. He understood branding. Like, don't get me started on this house party because I might.
Man, what?
I might lose it. Yo, did y'all go to that house
No,
party?
I was there.
You were there.
I was
You
there.
remember when I fell calling the police?
Yes.
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 You called the
I was
police?
a narc. I was done.
Narc.
I was.
This was the
Done.
livest party.
The livest party. In
I don't
Dallas.
remember no other party. I remember this party.
I come back here year after year. I was at do they still have Brahms?
Yeah.
I've had Long John Silver's and Cane's in 8 and 16 hours since I've been back. So, I love all these locals. Brahms. I was coming out of a Brahms. Braun or Brahms? Brahms with an M. I was coming out of Brahms a few years ago. Before the fund, before anything. But it was years after this party. Somebody came up to me, and I used to have a blog, so I thought, sometimes people would come up to me. So somebody came up to me and said, is your last name Hamilton? And I said, yes. And I was like, yeah, that's me. They said, I was at your brother's party. And I'm like, you're talking about 7, 8 years? What are you talking about right now? I hated that party.
Must have been epic.
But
Oh, no,
it was epic.
Yeah,
It
it
was-
was a party like you see on the movies.
It
Like,
was
like-
exactly like you see.
I don't know if you know this, but he still throws really
Real
dope
good party.
parties.
Yeah. So you asked about the hustle, and we'll just take the spoiled part out. I think the spoiled part may have seemed that way because he was in a way manufacturing that on the outside, because to him he understood rap culture. You gotta shine a little bit, and kind of fake it till you make it. But at home, none of that was happening. And also we just have different personalities and different things that are important to us. Like, he's gonna spend all his money on some clothes and cars and investments and stuff. I'm gonna spend money on like experiences or homes or things like
And
that.
I'm trying to be like you now.
Yeah. I mean, and that would have been you 20 years ago
facts.
with that mentality. Me, I'm just like, if I can, get through the day, here we are.
So, question, for both of y'all with Real Life and Backstage, to get to this point and this level in life, what is probably one of the most low times or down times y'all for each other individually experience to say, I'm not gonna be here no more. I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm gonna move on.
I'm
I
gonna
know
be-
mine, but I would love to hear yours. Want me to tell
Man,
him?
believe it or not, sleeping in a closet in a trap. This is just to keep it 100%. Like,
There was no bed.
no, it was just a lot going on, and then, I think that's just the biggest, just like being just that broke where you've been like, nah, I'm not gonna be like this though. So I think that's my low. Dion, you can vouch for coming.
Look, I've seen Rook at some low places, but I've always seen him like he's the bounce back. He knows. Rook has always been as a builder, and when I say he can build, whatever material he has, he's going to put it together, and he's going to stand on it. Rook, I've seen him lose everything and rebuild it with nothing. So he's always been a builder.
Dion, are
of
you gonna
things.
you gotta do a wedding?
I know. I would.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I would definitely be there.
And for those who are listening who may not know, it's not only a family affair in front of this camera, it's a family affair behind this camera as well. So for those who do not know that, the people behind this camera are very close to the people in front of the camera as well.
True.
Arlan, so for you, because we've heard the story multiple times, but in this moment for our audience,
Yes.
I want you to tell them as far as that moment where you were.
Yes.
Just-
My lowest moment that said this will not stand any longer was it was definitely 2015, multiple times throughout the year. And so just a few years ago, I was sleeping on the floor of the San Francisco airport. And it wasn't that I was sleeping on the floor because I was trying to hustle or I was like, grinding it out and I had somewhere else that I could go. It was because I had nowhere to go and no money and could barely eat every day. And I chose that location because I said, if I ever have to sleep on the ground outdoors, I think my spirit will be so broken that I won't be able to get back from that. So I chose a place that was public and could be relatively safe, but at the same time was terrified that I kept looking up, is it illegal to do that? Is it this or that? Just kind of
Googling that, like to see,
I Googled
can I
it.
do this?
Yes,
Oh, wow.
absolutely, yeah. And I did a lot of mental acrobatics to keep myself okay there, and just talked myself through it. But that was definitely it. I said, I don't know what it's going to take, but I would never be here again.
And now here we are.
Now here we are.
So to flip that for both of you, what is one of your proudest moments that, for self, that you said, wow, I'm really here in this moment. I've really met this person. I've really done this thing or helped this person out. What is one of your self?
So that's a great way of putting it, because I have proud moments. Like I was on the cover of Fast Company magazine in 2018, and I travel a lot. So every airport I went to, I saw a row of my face staring at me as I walked through the airport, and so many people around the world. And it was U.S. and South Africa, both were the covers, and people around the world, Australia, parts of Africa, all over Europe, South America, Asia, they would send me pictures of them holding up the magazine. So, people would send me pictures of like their teenage black daughters holding up this magazine, and it was just like, that was what I would have loved to have seen as a black woman on the cover of a business magazine when I was younger. So those are really prideful moments, but I also get really proud of, we have scholarships. My mother and I have scholarships. Rook is part of the fund that does that. Those moments are important to me, not just because I don't have a big opinion about going to college or not. I think you should do what's right for you. I didn't go to college, but I like the fact that we can be there for people in their time of need, because obviously that's what I was searching for at some point. And that's what I found in so many people. So many people were there for me in those darkest times. So that's when I get really proud. Somebody comes up to me crying, you helped me start a business, or you changed my life, or I was homeless and I read your story and I got out of there, and those types of things.
For me, street stars. I mean, everybody knows street stars. So.
Yeah. What about your children?
Yeah, that was my next thing. No. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. When families together,
yeah,
that's how you know.
Yeah.
When your family can stand together, that's how you know you're doing good.
Yeah, that's right.
Straight
you have a beautiful family. Beautiful family.
You're part of it.
No.
So I have to ask for each of y'all, what have y'all learned from each other? Rook, what have you learned from Arlan? Arlan, what have you learned from Rook as far as to get to this level of just seeing who that person is and something they could teach you?
You want me to go?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
Go ahead.
From Arlan, I learned you don't have to be that flashy, because when you come in the building, they'll know. People just know.
With the work.
Yeah, the work and your spirit and your energy and stuff like that. I learned to have a lot of patience, learn to manifest more, and let people just rely on people, what they say they're gonna do. If they're gonna do it, just let them have that.
Wow, that's very touching. I learned about transformation from Rook, because I don't know, depending on who you are watching this, you may or may not know, like, I think you have gone through incredible transformation, especially the past few years, where it's like mind, body, soul, right? It's just like I've seen you punch your fist through a glass thing out of anger when you were a teenager. And I've seen you as a man have people in your face ready to, coming at you, and you're giving them that moment of, do you really want to make that step? Do you really want to do that? Instead of going off on it. And like, as we've seen recently, that's harder to do, to have that. So if you learn patience from me, I've definitely seen it in you. I don't think you got that from me. I think you got that. So I don't know what happened. It would be interesting to find out what happened in your life that kind of transformed everything. And we both have in common that we don't drink. Yeah, that's what it is. That was a big transformational part of my life and his, but we didn't know, I didn't know about yours. Did you know about mine? Yeah, so we didn't know we were going sober at around the same time, and we found out later, and that probably had a lot to do.
Yeah, that had to do it.
That's what it was?
Oh, just pour the drinks down.
Yeah.
How big is sobriety for y'all right now?
Everything for me.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's big for me. Big for me. It definitely, I think it saved my life, because I think I was so ill, like physically, from it. I've been drinking since I was 21. I did wait till I was legal somehow. But I've been drinking since I was drinking since I was 21. I drank for more than 15 years with 1.5 year break in the middle of that. And every day of those 13 and a half years, I drank, unless I was violently ill with something else like a cold, I would drink at least 5 or 6 hard liquor beverages. And so I was so ill. If you touched my back, it would hurt, and it came to a point where I was so sick every day from the alcohol, but I was addicted to it, that I was like, I'll do anything to stop this. And so I was trying to, go to rehab. Because everything else in my life I could control. Everything else. I walk into a room, I'm gonna get, at least attempt to get what I want. And a lot of things were happening that were going really well in my life finally, but I still had this sort of boss. Alcohol was the boss telling me what to do and when I needed to drink it and what I needed, how I needed to feel. And that just wasn't right. And so through a series of events, including this book, if anybody's interested, if you're interested at all, it's a book called This Naked Mind, and you listen to the audio of it. It's by Annie Grace. And if you are somebody who can have a drink or two and that's it, and you leave it and you don't drink for another week and you're fine, more power to you. But if you're someone who's like, I really hate having hangovers every day and I don't quite know what to do about it, I would recommend at least trying that. Yeah. How did you stop?
I was at my partner Joker's wife's birthday party. And then I was lit that day. I don't know if you remember, Joker.
He probably does.
I remember you lit.
I was so turned up. And then a long time ago I got laced, but that's just another story. But I came home that night and then I woke up and I just felt so bad. And I was just like, it just felt so bad and I just felt depressed. And I was like, hey, man, that day I just stopped.
Yeah.
It's amazing that did it.
That did.
It only takes more.
Yeah.
People think about rock bottom as major things. My rock bottom, I've had some rockier bottoms, I guess is the way to say it. But my rock bottom wasn't as messy as the movies or the things would have you believe, because you got to understand, like, you live with this every day. So you go through it, and you're like mad at yourself every day, like, I did it again. And your rock bottom could just be like your last straw. It could just be like, oh, that was a good moment. You said it was a wedding or birthday?
It was a birthday.
I got drunk at a wedding, and I had to drive home. The next morning I had to drive home. I was hungover trying to drive home, and it was like a 3 or 4 hour trip. I had to pull over like every hour and lay in the back of the car because I was so sick. What was supposed to be a beautiful moment, over some liquid, some drinks? Nah, that's not it. Now, if you enjoy an adult beverage, don't let me stop you. If you enjoy whatever else, don't let me stop you. But it doesn't have to be. It's like, this is how I think about Hey, this is how I think about money, and this is what I think about alcohol. Am I consuming it? Am I consuming the thing, or is the thing consuming me?
Amen.
If I'm consuming it and it's within my power, all good. If I'm not, it's a problem.
So I would love for y'all to project y'all's future selves on each other. Rook, what do you see Arlan at in 10 years? Arlan, what do you see at Rook in 10 years? Let's go.
Okay. You want me to go?
I'll go. Where do I see Rook in 10 years? I see Rook, either he and this team has sold this media empire to an even bigger media empire, and you all are each individually doing what feeds your soul.
Amen.
Or you know, another decade has gone and you are the premier place for whatever you want this destination to be. I really see that. I also see, so if it's 10 years, yes, grandchildren. Yes. Nothing sooner than that. If you're watching, children. And then, yeah, I think he's just going to be, so many people are going to know as much as he tries to stay in the background. I think it's inevitable that he will not be able to for too much longer, because you just planted so many seeds with people. You're going to get it's going to come back to you. And so, you know, you have all these people trying to spotlight you because they can't help it, because they've been around you for a decade or 2 decades or even more, and it's just undeniable. So I really
Isn't it true
do
that
think
he's a social media star now too, though? Like, isn't that a thing?
Say that again?
He's a social media star now, right? Like, he's
social
like
media
going
star. He's
viral
more
and
than
stuff.
a million. I don't mean it like that though. I mean like his philosophies and things like that. Like I think that is gonna spread more, because he's so quiet and low key, but he's really funny. We see that in the videos. He's really smart, sharp. He does all this behind the scenes stuff y'all don't know if you're watching this. But I also think there's like a lot of people have commented on his calm and on his mentorship. And I think there's a lot that's going to come from that. It may be that he is the consultant for major names. They come to him when they need to be kind of centered and think through something. I don't know quite what it's going to be, but it's going to be something like that, where it's a lot of power moves in the background, and just incredibly wealthy. Yeah.
Now, for Arlan, she might not agree with this because she said she doesn't want this much money, but I said first woman trillionaire.
Oh, trillionaire. I don't want $1 trillion. I'll take $1 billion. I'll take $1 billion. I don't want $1 trillion.
Oh, yeah.
No, I don't.
I love how y'all just say that real casually. I'll take $1 billion. It's, you know.
Yeah, in 10 years, if I'm not a billionaire, something has gone awfully wrong. But because that's
What?
Trajectory. Let's talk trajectory.
Man,
And I would say, again, you might not agree, but just
supermodel.
Um,
No.
Talk about 10 years.
Go ahead.
something like, kind of like interviewing like Oprah or something like that, but they come to you because you can talk to anybody.
Yeah.
She got a son, Oprah. Wow.
So,
That'll be amazing.
Somebody told me 2 days ago that I had Oprah level interviewing skills,
no, you do.
Yeah.
and I said, "You know Oprah?"
yeah.
Oprah, if you ever see this, I would love to interview you. Okay, put it out there.
Y'all got any shout outs?
Lil Pookie, Lil Boo, Lil Lil. Have y'all met Lil Lil? My shout out. I want to shout out Rook for making this possible. Shout out our mother, Mrs. Sims, who is on her way to being a UK television star, but that's a whole nother story. Let me tell you. I'm gonna shout out Angel. I'm gonna shout out all the children, all the family, and not just a shout out. You want to do a shout out? Because I want to do something real quick, but go ahead.
Let me do a shout out. I want to shout out my team, man.
That's
Real
part of
life
what I was gonna do.
Fast, Real Life Joker, Real Life Jeff. Man, I love you. Y'all my niggas, man.
Okay, that's
Get up.
I know y'all don't normally do this, but can y'all come into frame? Because I'm seeing y'all for the first time in years, and this is the original group. Stand up with your peoples. All right, I guess sit down with your peoples. I don't know how it works.
no.
Don't break anything.
Hold on,
Don't want to break this
Look,
shit.
yeah, we gotta get up in there. Look.
Hey, let's get some still photographs over here. Yes.
Y'all don't get this too often, so
this,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this child like I have photographs like this, but y'all children.
Definitely.
And this for y'all to stay together for so long and build something like this is just really cool. That's something. Y'all ever get into fights?
Every day.
Every day.
You know, it's gonna end with a hug.
Yeah,
Yeah,
always.
yeah,
Always.
yeah,
Every time.
yeah, man. So you want people like that to win. You want people like this group to win, and that's why they are. That's why they are.
And
Right.
we are Real Life Street Stars.
Right. No IGs.
No idea.
Real life street stars.
Shout out the book real quick. Shout out the book. I want to shout out the book.
Oh, my book is called It's About Damn Time. It's on Penguin. You can pick it up anywhere, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, etc. Independent bookstores, please, etc.
Rook, shout out your unwritten book, because
Rook, to the black man and how I survived.
Oh, I read it. I read it.
You guys are amazing. You all have always been official Real Life Street Stars. So, yeah.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move it.